I'm not going to do nothing. If I get wounded, the whole show's over. But I did think the chair was very Morpheus. Yes? Hey, let's talk. More help.
What? Keep saying we're not supposed to be doing this.
Well, you know what? You know, then you guys should have taken care of it before I had to do it myself. I need to step. It's very high up for me. I don't have to teach right now. I'm just doing what am I doing? So you might feel some wind moving on you, and I'm like, oh, it's summer, but there's a storm in the distance rolling in, and then we're going to kind of have this, you know, we'll flash the lights a little bit for you guys. You're going to be like, oh, okay. Or think about it. It's like accelerated learning. Instead of spending 10 years out in the wilderness thinking, looking at trees, not a tree, boom, you know, and there's some cars, and it's a field, and it's at night, and the cars are parked in the field, and in the distance you can see the light and the tents and all the lights going on and everything. It is in these particular moments that I believe that the Matrix is glitching. In history, we have people who, walked on water, have levitated above buildings from Christian stories and stuff, and I think they're legitimate. There's even one where I've seen documentation where guys are moving over an audience. Okay? If you cut the nervous system of the human body and we made you immortal, but you couldn't move, you couldn't smell, you couldn't hear, you couldn't taste, you couldn't do anything. You'd sit there and be inebriated probably for a day or two, and then your mind would start to create reality. In fact, not only would you be able to touch things, but you'd be able to smell stuff. You'd be able to taste things. You'd be able to hear things. In fact, it would become so real for you that you wouldn't even realize what was reality and what wasn't anymore, because both would be as real. In fact, you could burn yourself, and the doctor who was looking at you and you look like you're inebriated would actually see your skin react to a burn. That's how real it would be, and there's studies to prove this. So logic at the end. This is why most people are attracted to me, because we're just sucked into the dough. We're automating. We're just doing what coffee, pour, drink, laugh, ah, ha, ha, ha. But if you're a sensitive, sometimes I'll be sitting with my students, you know, and I'll be like blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, oh, did you guys feel that? And you could feel the incline. That it's like air pressure. Or something moves and it changes. I'll be in a restaurant and I could feel the change in the matrix just like that, because the whole restaurant, you watch what I'm saying now, will be everybody's talking, and all of a sudden it just dropped down like dead silence. Okay? That is a change in reality. That is a change in the matrix. That's a change in the program. I mean, what the fuck else would it be? When you are sitting in a coffee shop and everything's buzzing, or in a restaurant, and then all of a sudden you just hear it go down to just a few people talking, it's just like, has everybody ever experienced this? Okay? That is a change in the matrix. Not everybody just doesn't do that for some reason. Certainly not me, but I'm usually the loudest one and they're all listening to what I'm saying. That's why it happens. But anyway, my point is, if you are observing or aware that the room just went silent, and you can say, I just seen it just go from buzz to nothing, you are not part of the matrix now. You're outside of it. You're an observer. You're an anomaly to the whole program that shifted, because nobody else realized they just changed their consciousness. They just went from a talking mode into a different state of consciousness, like zombies. Think about it. So if you're aware that this just happened around you to the room, and you're just looking at the people next to you who are like, blah, 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 and then all of a sudden they got quiet with everybody else. That's where you have an in through that observation. I believe at that given moment you can create an emotion or a desire, and you can emote it out. Outside looking at the fairgrounds from a distance. This is a window. This is something that says observe. Observe. If you can observe, you're no longer part of the program. If you observe, you're self-conscious, you're aware, and if you can acknowledge that, you're upgraded. You're moved into a higher state of consciousness. The matrix starts to recognize you and see you different, and hopefully we can recreate it. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So if you hear rain, we got storms coming, we're going to squirt the bottles in the air. You're going to be like, and then feel the breeze, and whatever else. We can flash the lights and boom, 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 boom. So we're going to try to engage you, and your job is to think, I'm there, it's happening. I can smell the dirt. Yeah, well, it smells like. And that is what advances you. That's what changes you. That's when the matrix starts changing your code, because it no longer can relate to you as being what you were before. You've evolved. You're changing. And it needs to give you, in a sense, abilities, access codes, differentialness, or what we call in spiritual circles, we say, oh, well, the dark side's working on us. It's grounding us out. It's just when I thought I was really spiritual, some crazy shit happened. But really, that is it auto-correcting. That is it trying to bring you back into a normal state and not think about those things. Whenever you get really advanced spiritually, you'll notice that almost something pulls you out of it eventually. It's like grounding you out. And then it just lets you go, and then it says, okay, I've got to change the program for this person. This is not a normal person. I've got to rework the program, the matrix, to accommodate this. So it's a battle. And that battle is what I always say is your spiritualness. It's your fight for it. And the red cells and your husbands and your wives who don't get it, everybody seems to be working you. It's because there's some kind of awakening in your consciousness that's taking place. And it needs to get that to not happen.